What's happening, guys? It's Mike at Mike's Little Dragon Channel, and I just finished this 3-issue miniseries that DC put out. I won't say they did it last year. It's called Batman Dylan Dog, and I was not familiar with this character at all. And the reason I ended up getting this 3-issue miniseries is because issues 2 and 3 were in the dollar box at my local shop, and I only needed to order this issue here offline or online to have the whole miniseries, and I'm really glad I did. I just finished it and I super enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about this character here, Dylan Dog, or his situation, or his anything about him at all. But the book, the writing in it, really explained everything there is to know about him. It gave me a really good lowdown on who he is and what his job and his origin and his backstory or whatever. It caught me up to speed really quick. So it was really strong writing in that aspect. Now, I am not going to even begin to pronounce the people who are involved with this book. I'm not even going to try and pronounce these names here. But however, what I will say is they did a incredible job with not only Dylan Dog, but also Batman. The art, I really enjoyed the art. I'll just flip through some of it here. It really reminded me of Tim Sale. His work in like Batman, the long Halloween, or the whichever the last Halloween or whatever it's called. There's so many of them right now that I've got them all jumbled up. But Tim Sale style artwork is what it really reminded me of. Especially the expressions on the faces reminded me of Tim Sale's work. Beautiful colors. The color palette is a lot of oranges and reds. So this was a really strong page right here too. I enjoyed this page. So see, like this big splash of backdrop right here of red, which shows the action of the Batarang flying through the air. And then here's another really strong page. I like this scene here. But just overall, the art really blew me away. It was something that I wasn't really honestly, I didn't know what to expect about this miniseries because I wasn't familiar with anything about it. But I'll give you a quick breakdown of what it's about. Is basically the Joker decides to go to London to get into contact with someone from his past, and Batman follows him there to London, where he runs into this gentleman here, Dylan Dog, who is basically a sort of supernatural private investigator, kind of like a monster hunter type guy, but like a very regular blue collar, run of the mill type guy. Kind of a rogue, smart aleck with quips. So that is basically like the gist of it. Batman and this guy have to team up to stop the Joker and who the Joker is after. So, and then along the way, they run into some other characters from the DC universe that have ties to Batman and the supernatural world. But I can't say enough good things about this in 3 issues. It totally really, I guess because my expectations for it were not very high. I didn't know what to expect because I wasn't familiar with the creative team. But all things considered, I think they really nailed it. Batman is portrayed as, someone who is not a psychopath, as we see so often with portrayals of Batman. It is very much a portrayal of Batman as the Dark Knight detective, that style of Batman, one where he, has a alter ego as Bruce Wayne. He's not Batman 24/7. He's not some out of control individual. And I really like that portrayal of Batman, and they really nailed it here. But I don't know what the collection plans are for this. I don't know if they plan to collect it or not, because you have this character here, Dylan Dog, who is put out by an Italian company, I believe. I read that on Wikipedia, looking up him after I was finished. So I'm not sure how that they would, I'm not sure how they would collect that. I'm not sure. A lot of times, if there's two characters from separate companies, sometimes the collection rights can get a little screwy sometimes, and it can really prevent a book from getting collected and put into a trade paperback in a timely manner. But in any case, these issues, I got this issue off of mycomicshop.com, of course, and it was incredibly cheap. So if you're looking to pick up these 3 issues, you can find them online, very reasonably priced. And speaking of reasonably priced, this book, cover price $4.99, and look at it. It is a lot of content right here. It is a lot of pages, and no, it is not any backup story or pinups or anything. It's all straight up story. So you get a lot of bang for your buck, and I'm a big fan of getting that kind of value. But to wrap it up, Batman Dylan Dog, give it a shot. If you're a Batman fan, I think you're going to love it. It's beautiful artwork, beautifully crafted story, and I was pleasantly surprised about it. In fact, I have enjoyed this more than I have any issue of Hush 2 or of any Batman story I've read in quite a while. So as someone who's a big Batman fan, that speaks volumes. So till next time, you guys take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.